Yo, fuck nuts. Raw, let's get into it. All right. The Rock and this little kid who has his own YouTube page and he does raps. Um they start out at his house and it starts out with a segment with The Rock, sitting in a chair doing all his catchphrases and he says, "We should have had a talk, a long time ago." And then, well, since I left, Cena owns the 2 to 5 year old kids, but he'll never be as good as The Rock because he's not that talented. And The Rock's like, "Kid, how do you feel?" "It doesn't matter how it makes you feel." And then the kid starts to cry, and then he blows his nose on a John Cena T-shirt, and then gives him a box of Fruity Pebbles. And then he's like, "Well, here's the deal, Miz. The time for talking is over, and I'm gonna show up if you smell what the fuck I'm cooking." By the way, after all this time, what the fuck was The Rock cooking? I never got that. And then Miz comes to the ring and says the same shit that he always says. Your grandfather and your father were never WWE champion, and I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome because, I'm the Miz, and yeah, like I just fucking said 30 seconds ago, I'm awesome. And then Michael Cole comes out with this Vince Russo looking like fucking plexiglass, and he's all like, "Well, for the first time ever, we're going to get 2 matches that have never been seen before. The Miz versus the Great Job E, and John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio." Yes. All right, Miz punches Kali, but Kali hits him, and, Kali goes for the ass grip, and then, Miz reaches the ropes. Miz gets disqualified after, like, basically ass fucking Kali with this chair, and then his back started to bleed, and they kept putting the camera on that. John Morrison talks to the big ugly bitch with the nose, and no, I don't mean Triple H, Snooki. Ugh, she's got an ugly ass nose. They have a segment, and then Vicky got slapped by Snooki, and no one gave a shit. And then the only match of the night worth really watching tonight, Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. Sheamus pounds on Bryan, then slams his head into the turnbuckle. Bryan runs it up and backflips him and attempts a submission move. Sheamus makes it to the ropes and gets outside, and then Danielson goes for a suicide dive, hits a missile drop kick, gets a 2 count. Sheamus runs outside again as we go to a long ass fucking commercial break. Sheamus is in control with a rear fucking chin lock. Bryan gets out, and then we got like a roll up a few minutes later, and then Bryan throws him over the ropes outside. Sheamus looks to have hurt his fucking leg again for the umpteenth time. He's the next Triple H. Long story short, how this match fucking ended. Sheamus hit Bryan Danielson with a bro kick in midair and makes the cover. The match itself was okay. The Miz Khali match was nothing special. And Michael Cole stands up in his coal mine. Vince Russo, I swear to God, parodied this. And then they had Grandmaster Sexay come out and talk shit to his dad. And he's just like, "I never wanted you, because I always wanted the spotlight for me, but, Lawler wouldn't even acknowledge him." And then the mark out moment of the night, JR came back. And JR and Cole were about to have a fucking striptease until Jack Swagger came out, put the ankle lock on him, and then King came out and made the fucking save. So the most built up match going into WrestleMania actually looks to be, it has the potential to be okay. Then Randy Orton versus Baby Batista. Orton punches away. Ryan hits with a big boot and a backbreaker, gets a 2 count. And then another couple backbreakers, a couple clotheslines, and then they stare at the fucking WrestleMania sign. And then Orton sometime later hits the RKO and gets the win, and then Mason Ryan got punted in the head. Well, oh well. And then Zack Ryder and Snooki had a segment. Nobody gave a fuck about that. Snooki came out, said her usual shit. Trish Stratus came out. It's going to be fucking Trish Stratus, John Morrison, and Snooki. Yes, you heard me right. Versus Vicky Guerrero, Dolph Ziggler, and one of the lay cool bitches at WrestleMania. They're wasting the fuck out of Dolph Ziggler and John Morrison. Oh my God. I don't want to see this. I don't care to see this. And then we got Alberto Del Rio with the White Big Daddy V versus John Cena. Alberto flips John Cena over, keeps him in a headlock. Cena escapes, hits his one move of doom, the shoulder block. Alberto's in control when we come back from commercial break. Cena hits a side suplex. The ref starts counting. And then basically what happens is he hits Alberto Del Rio with the attitude adjustment. Big Daddy V runs in and they attack Cena. And then The Rock's music comes out. The Rock's music hits. And The Miz comes out dressed up like The Rock, which was funny as shit. And then Cena basically got ass raped with a DDT on the stage and threw into the WWE sign and all that shit. And then the way this ended was Miz hit the ass fucking finale on the stage. And then the way it looked, like Cena was laying there like this, all humped up with his back. And then Miz was kind of like laying right next to him and laying right beside him. It looked fucking gay and it looked fucking retarded. Overall, Raw tonight, I would just check out the Daniel Bryan match and The Miz and The Rock and that thing in the beginning. And, you know, Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. But other than that, Raw is not really worth the time. I will see you guys later. Peace out.